As many people know, on Tuesday, November 6th of 2012, Amendment 64 was passed in Colorado. What is Amendment 64? Amendment 64 allows the recreational use of marijuana to any adult over the age of 21. Only 1 ounce may be possessed by the said adult at all times. This amendment also allows for up to 6 marijuana plants to be grown in a single, private, secure area. In fact, according to HuffPost.com, over 300 doctors gave their support of Amendment 64. Like anything else, now that marijuana can be bought legally, it can also be taxed. But could a 25% sales tax drive this newly legal drug underground? In this speech, we're going to talk about why marijuana needs to be taxed at such a high rate, what people think of this tax, and if it could potentially drive it underground. Why does marijuana need to be taxed? Well, why not? Like any other recreational drug, like alcohol, marijuana should not be different. Marijuana is a relatively new industry as it has only been legal in the United States in the past 2 years, and it is still only legal in 2 of our 50 states. And because it is so new, and because Colorado's state government does not want their federal government to come down on them, they have to find their own means to support this new industry. If the state couldn't make enough money to support the industry, the money would have to come from elsewhere, and this would not sit well with the federal government. And according to the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution, if there is conflict of federal law and state law, the federal law, or the law of the land, overrides the state law. So Colorado must tread carefully and cover all their bases to avoid getting Amendment 64 revoked. There are so many regulatory measures that need to be taken, and money is needed for this. Lots of money. Consequently, taxes are the only way to get this kind of money. Because the legal marijuana industry is so new, there is a lot of money that needs to go into regulating it. Surprisingly, Colorado inhabitants seem to understand that because it is so new, it needs to be funded, and they seem to have no problems doing this. Even with a 25% tax rate, 65% of voters voted for the tax, with a mere 35% of voters against it, according to Reuters.com. Not only this, but Denver dispensaries will be taxed an extra 3.5%, and once again, the votes were 69 to 31%, also from Reuters.com. The majority is in favor. This tax also limits minors from trying to illegally purchase the drug, and because it is so expensive. Most children under the age of 21 don't have the means to support this kind of vice. So this tax is high, pun intended, but it is in favor of both parties. Smokers will get to keep their legal pot, but because it is self-sustainable and non-smokers will not have their children getting their hands on it so easy, it is also in favor of the non-smokers. With all the research I've done, I don't really think marijuana will be driven underground. I think that with this new tax, many will stop smoking it or resort to buying it illegally, but I think if Colorado shows that this is a self-sustaining industry, the marijuana industry will only grow, and in turn, the tax will decrease. Marijuana is in the same position that prohibition was in a long time ago. At the time that alcohol was made legal, it was also taxed very, very highly. The same thing will be done with marijuana until it is proven that it can sustain and support itself. The U.S. is open to many new and different ideas, and with our economy being the way that it is, maybe this marijuana tax could help us in our need for money. If Colorado can prove that this is a self-sustaining industry, and not only is it self-sustaining, but if they prove that it is an industry that money can be made out of, maybe more states will legalize it. And as more and more states legalize it, it will come up and up and up from its underground state that it's currently in right now. The downside to this is there are many people that were previous smokers and that are going to continue buying and selling illegally to avoid this high tax. But many people with jobs and have a good means of income, will buy this tax, therefore improving our economy and improving the light that marijuana is put in right now. If marijuana can be proven to make money, it will be lifted from its possibly underground state, and this 25% sales tax may be the only way to do it. As of right now, it seems that Coloradans are in favor of this 25% sales tax, and if they can prove that this is a self-sustaining industry, their tax may go down and it may be legalized in more states.